Dr. Gayle Peterson is a psychotherapist and author who, since 1973, has researched the impact of psychosocial factors on the childbirth process. Based on years of research and clinical practice, she has developed a body-centered hypnosis for decreasing the potential for birth complications and increasing the likelihood for a normal delivery. The following video was created in 1989 and illustrates some of her methodology.
In the following segment, you'll see Jill, who's 36 weeks pregnant with her second child at the time of the session. She knows that she has a little girl this time, and she and her husband have named it Becca. During the initial interview, I gather information necessary in order to create an individualized hypnosis tape, which Jill will use for the next birth. She describes to me her long labor with her son, her unreadiness to be a mother, and her postpartum depression, which lasted for nearly a year after her son's birth.
Well, my feeling like if I went into labor right this minute, I'd be in trouble because I don't feel ready. Postpartum depression was so scary that both my husband and I have this almost terror of it happening again.
Her mother's history of stillbirth and neonatal death for her first and fourth pregnancies has sensitized Jill to childbirth as a doorway to loss.
Well, I was the third living child. Her first one she lost. He died a couple weeks after birth.
I will work with Jill in this session to resolve some of her fears of postpartum depression and overwhelm through perceptual change in her belief systems and in her expectations of family. I will address her concerns and fears throughout the hypnosis, embedding new possibilities within the context of the physical process of childbirth. This is what is called seeding the unconscious. In doing so, it will be more likely that Jill will experience an uncomplicated delivery and less likely that she will re-experience her depression postpartum.
You can just be on the couch right now, supported by the pillows, or wherever you might use this tape at home, or, wherever you might lie down, so that with your next breath can just become aware of the fact that as you're breathing, you're taking oxygen deep into your right shoulder right now without you even needing to think about it. So that with your next breath, you might even just give yourself the right to imagine what it'd feel like if you could breathe out any tension from the right shoulder right down through to your elbow. And then just with your next breath, continuing right down your back, slipping and sliding right down your back. Might even remember when you were a child, or maybe you've seen Daniel climb up a slide for the first time. And it's kind of scary in the beginning because they step up the ladder step by step and rung by rung up to the very top. And it might have been kind of scary. You'd never been there before, and you might have clung on to the sides, but somebody helped you learn how to overcome your fear at the top, and you let go, and right down you slid to the very bottom of the slide, right down to the bottom. It was so much fun that you went around again and climbed up again to the very top and let go, and right down you came to the very bottom. Your body knows how to let go at the top without even needing to think about it. Its instinctive process knows how to release, to relax.
And now we're headed into part 3 of the hypnosis, which is the birth visualization itself. And you'll notice that the relaxation has dropped away. It's already become a part of Jill's process. And so the wording is much more direct. I'm able to say things much more directly to the unconscious. And I'll be using the tonality of my voice to create an experience of sensation of a contraction building. And then I'll be implanting suggestions for replenishment, for rest, in between each and every contraction.
And so as the baby's diving, you can feel her diving safely down, and the contractions building and building and building. You begin to breathe and breathe and breathe. And Becca's diving and diving and diving safely down, right down on the cervix now. And it's opening and opening and opening. And you're breathing and breathing and breathing right down. But then the wave comes to shore, Jill. Always, always, always splashes to shore. And you rest. And your baby rests in between each and every contraction now. It's like a wave that builds and breaks and comes to shore. The power of the waters now. Your body's known that power before. Safely, safely, safely through. Safely through. Daniel came safely through, made headway. For his sister now comes down, right down the cervix, opening and opening in between each and every contraction. A little more loosening happening, deepening, almost as if you couldn't even control it at all. Another wave's building from far out in the ocean. It's almost as if you could hear it. And the whales call way out in the ocean, the power of the waters. And every woman that's ever given birth before, millions and millions and billions of women, echoing, echoing, echoing to help you now. And the waves building and building and building, and you can feel Becca diving and diving and diving right down, straight down on the cervix now, already open before, already knows how to respond, to open very quickly now as she dives right down, and you're breathing and breathing and breathing right through until you can feel the waves splash to shore. Always makes it to shore. Each and every contraction always comes to shore. Can feel safe and effective in that way. Safe and effective. The waves always come to shore. Safely, safely, safely to shore.
In my work with expectant mothers, when I utilize the body-centered hypnosis for a woman who's giving birth for the first time, I find that her labor actually resembles statistically the labor of a second birth. So it's as if she's already stretched and opened, already given birth before.
Jill gave birth to a 7.5-pound healthy baby daughter. She experienced no complications, and her total labor was 2.5 hours.
So the slide was the best image. It was like she was, they always say in birth books how birthing hurts babies, and think of what has to happen to their skulls, and it makes it sound so gruesome, but thinking of her going down a slide and having a good time, and me just being a slide was this really positive image, It wasn't pain, it was fun, and I look back at labor, and it's like after my first birth, it was like a nightmare. Every time I closed my eyes, I kept reliving this nightmare. And after this birth, it was like, God, that was so much fun. I really want to do it again. And I thought, no woman ever says this. And it's like, I really got into this thing of not, of being sad if I never got to do it again.